Driving Intelligence. This is part 2 of a video about the Malibu Wakesetter 23 LSV that I was working on last week. The ballast pumps were not working, and just as a recap, we thought that the wires were cut because of an upholster, and there is evidence of cut wires, but the ballast system wiring seems to be pretty much intact, and the problem was 4 frozen pumps. This is I think it's a 2006 Malibu, so I don't know how these pumps became so bad after that period of time. Somehow they started leaking. Makes me question the quality. The cartridges are only about $45 a piece. I've actually posted another video where I'm selling the rebuilt cartridges, but the cartridges are in hand. We're going to go and reattach them with some heat shrink butt splices, and the ballast should be in good condition. But there was one wire that needs to be reconnected. We'll try to figure that out. Not reconnected, but was not getting a 12-volt power source from the switch. So we need to understand what's going on there. And then also there was some other electrical wiring that just needs to be reconnected and cleaned up. So more as once I get there and start putting this thing back together. Okay, before getting into the actual repair on this boat, I wanted to show you the layout of this Malibu. I pulled this from the owner's manual, and I made some modifications so I could show you much more easily where the all the equipment is for the ballast system. You'll see here marked in blue that we have 4 ballast tanks, bow, mid boat, and one on each side at the stern. And there's also a ballast pump access panel on the floor that's noted in black. Here are the locations of the fill pumps. You've got 2 in that access panel in the middle, midship or mid boat, and then you've got 2 more that are just ahead of the engine in the back and inboard of your ballast tanks. Finally, your drain pumps are shown, one at the back of the triangular shaped. You have one in the pump access panel, and then you have one each for each of the rear ballast tanks. This photo shows the access panel, which is made it one of the easiest locations to work on the ballast pumps. Three of the pumps are located in here, very easy to get to. The one at the top of the photo is for the mid boat ballast. It's connected into the tank that you see at the top of this photo by a 90-degree PVC line. The other 2 pumps support the filling of the bow tank and the mid boat tank. They both suck water out of the bottom of the boat, and the flow is controlled by ball valves that you can somewhat see in the photo. Here's where I got into some trouble. 2 problems remain with the ballast system. Number one, the mid-boat access panel, you'll see the red dot at the top. That is the fill for the mid-boat ballast, and for some reason it's not getting a 12-volt signal, and we didn't have time to trace that down. And also the drain pump is not operating for the bow ballast tank. And sadly, we took the boat out for a test to test the ballast system, and it filled properly. But now we can't get the water out until we're going to have to siphon it out. So that bow tank is full. The reason you got to get that water out is because you have to remove that bow tank when it's empty to get to that ballast pump. I didn't see any other way to get to that. I think it's relatively light. So if you have a problem with the drain on that tank, do not fill it until you pull the tank and make sure that you can get to that pump and do some work on that. Probably have to replace the cartridge, as I'm going to show in the next videos. Back of the boat with new pumps in hand. 800, these are the cartridges, so they'll go back into the pump assembly. Already rebuilt one, which is this section, the white section down. This is all the pump assembly that screws into your ballast. Also got some heat shrink butt splices. This should make for a trouble-free connection, and some Teflon tape to make sure the connections are sealed. Here we see the location for 3 of the ballast pumps. That right there is a 90 that goes into the front ballast tank, which must be the drain. These 2 here, which you see show ball valves, actually allow the pump to pull fluid in from underneath the boat and fill up the ballast. Okay, so here's the fully assembled pump. I've put Teflon tape to make sure it's sealed and that the connection is tight. One note, you'll see that there is a flat spot here, so this housing goes on a specific way. Also, when you put this on, because you've changed the orientation by taking it apart, the threads go a certain distance to make sure it's tight. I just put 1 screw in and then test install this to make sure that this outlet is pointing in the right direction toward the hose that it came off of. When you confirm that, you may have to adjust, rotate this 180 degrees. But once that's done, I did that. I put all the screws in. I also put the screw here to hold this closure piece, the piece that seals the pump to the cartridge. Now I can install it and test the wiring. So as I mentioned, you got to check the threads by installing it in the valve. This one did not line up properly, so I need to rotate this 180 degrees and should be perfect as such. So now I can put the screws in and we should be good to go for installation. So somebody put LED lights in this boat, and these are what they use as butt splices. That's a proper butt splice, right? Please, when you do wire connections, use proper butt splices. They're so cheap. You'll need a crimping tool. A proper crimping tool will make your life easy. So we now have 3 operational ballast tanks on this Malibu. But the 1 tank is not operational, as I indicated, because the valve is not getting a 12-volt signal from the switch. And there's a lot of wiring mess underneath the control panel, and that's a winter project. This user wants to use his boat, so we're not going to tear into that until wintertime. But he's got plenty of ballast to enjoy his boat. So hope this helped you out. Took a little bit of tracing, a little bit of work to figure this out, but we were able to resolve the issues. It turns out the rumor is these ballast pumps go out every 4 to 5 years. He was able to get 14 years out of these pumps. I think these are the original pumps. So if you got pumps that are going on 5+ years old, you might want to make sure that to pull them out, clean them, make sure that they're operating smoothly, that the pump impeller is rotating easily, and make sure it doesn't affect your summer. This individual only had 1 ballast tank at the right rear of the boat, which caused for some fun wakeboarding. See you next time on Driving Intelligence. We have ballast. Abe and I would like you to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and provide comments below. See you next time on Driving Intelligence.